Album Concept Hour. The Album Concept Hour. It's the Album Concept Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to the Album Concept Hour. My name is Bradley Barron. I am your host, as I always am. And this is a podcast where we break down concept albums, start to finish, track by track, and try to figure out what the heck those guys are trying to talk about or explain.
Trying to tell us.
Sometimes they're trying to tell us something, sometimes they're not. But we'll see today. I have my co-host with me. We got John that you just heard. We have Dave over there. How's it going, Dave?
How's it going?
And then we have Jake Foster. How's it going, Jake? Hello.
Hi.
Jake. Okay. All right. I couldn't hear you for a second.
He is here.
We got Jake, and we are covering Led Zeppelin's Houses of the Holy from 1973. I'm pretty excited to get into this one. This is, I'll just say right out the gate, my favorite Led Zeppelin album, and the first one that really got me into them. But what about you guys? I'll go around the table. John, what's your experience with Houses of the Holy?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I didn't know that I had any experience with Houses of the Holy until I listened to it. And then I realized I've heard like 3 or 4 of the tracks, which is like half of it, So,
Yeah.
I've
Definitely a few like regular rotation songs.
I can't remember.
We'll
which
get
track.
into it
Just
later.
mention
I
it
guess.
when it comes up. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I've actually heard most of these,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize it myself.
Yeah, similar to Led Zeppelin 4, a lot of these get some good rotation. But what about you, Dave? What do you think? When did you become aware of this one?
Well, it was baby steps because, again, heard like single tracks stuff from the radio or growing up, and then I think it was 93. I got like sort of like a box set. It was like looked like a menu folded, had like 4 discs. I had like 3 or 4 plus tracks from all their stuff, and kind of had like a little breakdown. Sort of have like it's like baby steps. Like, oh, Led Zeppelin. This is like kind of like all their like cliff notes in a sense.
Yeah.
And then it was years later where a friend Nick told me to buy Zeppelin 2, and then after Zeppelin 2, I just like kind of went crazy. I pretty much acquired all the discs. I caught all the Pokemon like Zeppelin. I acquired them. And yeah. Houses definitely hit me different than the rest. That was the one where I could throw my receiver and had the vinyl, put the receiver on, sleep for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
By the time like track 2, the Rain song ends, like I would usually be asleep. So Houses was for a long time like one of the records I would put on to like just
to relax, just zone out.
Because it was,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like you could put it on like it can be dark and kind of like you'd be half paying attention, then like you start kind of thinking, and then you just slowly kind of fall asleep and trail off, and it was just a little bit of
Those are my favorite kind of records. That's actually how I got into Fleetwood Mac's Rumors.
Oh yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying there.
I used to do that with Postal Service. The one album, the only album.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the name. It's the only album that they ever come out with. But Give Up. But yeah, that one we used to listen. Like my whole family, like all of my siblings, also listened to that one to fall asleep. But yeah, this one, without getting too much into it, this one's got a very starts very, very different than what you were left with Led Zeppelin 4. But Jake, what about you? When was your first time kind of experiencing Houses of the Holy?
I don't know. I thought it was an album that we all listened to over and over again because I did. I mean, the whole thing. I love this whole thing for years, and I think high school probably is when I started getting into the entire albums. More than I think my mom had bought me like early days and latter days of Led Zeppelin, and then
okay, you had cool parents. I think we've covered this. You have cool parents,
but it was like, but I wished I had the entire albums, and there's a difference, because that's why we do the show. And I just pieces of
you had like bits and pieces of the discography in general, and then kind of later.
And I just would listen to the entire things going all over the place and listen to them all the way through. So this is one of those bands that, of all of them that I listen to consistently, the entire albums and all the songs, this Zeppelin is definitely one of them. So they make some really make a lot of bangers. Well,
and they really
factory.
They really try to do that with their albums in general. They want you to listen to them all the way through.
Yeah,
they were never a big fan of radio friendly like hits. They just became a product of it because they were so good. Some of their stuff was gonna hit the radio no matter what. But they wanted you to listen to the way they made albums is they wanted you to listen to them through and through.
Although I will say, I feel like though, that being said, their albums aren't hugely like conceptual, as in like songs connected to each other. So much. I mean, they definitely, each album has like a vibe that they're kind of
a unique flavor to like
pulling from blues in the first couple albums a lot more. And kind of growing and changing as the albums go, but
growing out of the Yardbirds. I mean, that's Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, that's true.
They were the Yardbirds, and then they
that's right.
grew into their own sound.
And then wait, who was in the Yardbirds again? Wasn't there another big heavy hitter?
There were a couple big heavy hitters.
Jeff Beck was in it.
Page. Okay. Yeah.
Page was the one who like he had the band, and then he had a tour to do in like Europe, I believe is the story, and he like pulled like that's when he got like Robert Plant to like come into the band.
Band B.
And
Go.
Like he pulled together a group, and he was kind of like this works.
Yeah, that's true.
That's kind of how Led Zeppelin kind of like grew out of that, I believe.
Yeah. I forgot about the Yardbirds thing, but yeah, that's right. They were kind of set for success in a way from the start because
they're believe it or not, they're like
already individually done.
As far
stuff.
as like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame goes, they're like to me like they're like the most unsuccessful band that has so many successes to come from it that's why they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's not because they were like
they ever unsuccessful?
Extremely well, they were never like extremely successful. Like. For like some of the people that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
it's really the jumping
point for a lot of Yardbirds.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I mean, that is what Keith.
Well, I'm just saying they were never like the most successful band in the world. I mean,
I think in the United States they weren't that successful.
But
the UK they were extremely successful.
That's probably
and
true.
I think they got like. Clapton left them because they started going to a poppier sound.
Yeah, and he wanted to be more blues, right?
Oh yeah,
that was
he's
kind
more
of
straight up blues.
Yeah,
and that eventually became, I mean, within a couple of years, became Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Well, I it's hard for me. It was hard to think about it that way because I think is it Keith Richards that's in
the Stones? Yeah.
I saw a clip of him talking about Led Zeppelin, and he's like, the thing he said is like Led Zeppelin's actually the perfect description because they were like, they like, were a really good thing that like never quite took off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, never quite took off. I never, because I exist in a like post revival Led Zeppelin, like because I know in the '90s when I was a kid, like around the Godzilla 2000 times. They did a big tour. They had a big live thing that came out. My dad was obsessed with it. And
Zeppelin?
Zeppelin had a big...
because the song, I think it was a Kashmir. It was
there was
Puff Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there
Puff
was
Daddy and Page did like the collaboration.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That was probably actually the first Led Zeppelin I legitimately heard,
because they didn't really, I mean, it was like a handful of times where they got back together.
Yeah, but there was a big concert that was like they were like marketing that was for sale.
I think that was like 2008. That was like the 2002 concert. I think
maybe 2002. Maybe it was 2002.
It was definitely.
It was the name was 2002, but it was in 2008 because I was in high school. I was sitting in the trainer's room while I was because I was there a lot. Talking about Led Zeppelin to the football trainer and getting my leg wrapped or whatever, and being like, Led Zeppelin's going to do this concert, and it was with John Bonham's son, obviously. But that's one reason why they didn't get together very often.
They had one time
they were very
purist right?
about it.
Didn't they have one more time before that 2008 concert?
Yeah, very. I think maybe a handful of times.
But I know. I mean, maybe I just knew it because my dad was a fan, and he had some,
Page
footage.
and Plant got together and did like little things, but I don't think they were.
They were very pure about it. They didn't want to do a Led Zeppelin
I probably
thing
wouldn't have
without
known if it was the
Led Zeppelin
band proper at the time. Honestly, I was very young. But I do remember that's around the time
that's
though
the
that's the 80s.
That's around the time though that I was aware of like Led Zeppelin as more than just something I heard every now and again on the radio.
Yeah, But
and wasn't their title, their name was it from a Rolling Stones review like early on, like they're gonna. I think the joke was like they'd sink like a Led Zeppelin, or like there was some reference to.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Keith Richards was referencing. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell with that guy. But we have 8 tracks for you guys today. And before we get into more Led Zeppelin talk, we're gonna have a lot of Led Zeppelin talk today. This is Led Zeppelin Day finally. I'm sorry it took this long, listeners, that we haven't done a Led Zeppelin album yet, but
here we are. We're doing it.
I know we did a couple of Who already.
We did some Who. We did a couple Who. Yeah. I was
what the hell, Brad?
I was looking back on our episodes. I'm like, wow, we haven't
like 3 Pink Floyd.
We are covering everybody. You just got to give us time, but we're getting to it.
We'll get to Creed, right?
Oh God!
We could do.
Do they have a concept album? I really hope they don't.
I think the band is a concept.
Please, if you know of a Creed concept album, do not talk to me about it. That's I want you to put it in your pocket and just forget.
Burn your pants.
I'm telling you, House of Clay. I think that's the best one.
Anyways, that might be fun. But,
anyways,
this is a little higher standard.
Higher grade,
today.
yes.
This is the first track off of House of the Holy. This song remains the same. Yeah. So that's how they start Houses of the Holy.
Kick it off.
Yeah. Which is I feel like a bit jarring if you are like a fan that is coming off of 4 and you grab this album at the store. Like, I feel like this track is probably a little jarring, right?
Not too much. I mean
it's like it's still rocking, but it's like there's something different about it.
It is.
Maybe, I don't know if maybe you wouldn't notice first listen, but like it's like it does. I mean, comparing them side by side like I did today, like there's a very big jump.
Yeah, and 4 they're already kind of pumping the brakes. You had like
Highway to
like
California,
Stairway to Heaven. There's a couple tracks that are kind of
slower,
like
kind of
By the time you got to this album, you're like, oh, all right.
But still a lot
if you just listen to like 1 and 2 and through this sound, like, what is going on?
Oh, yeah. You need that transition for sure. Because, they used to be like just a lot more just kind of straight up. Like blues with some...
Bluesy rock.
Well, they always tried to change a little bit,
grunge,
with each
grunge.
album,
What's that called when you make the crunchy guitar? Distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which apparently Eric Clapton wasn't a fan of or something, but
wasn't a fan of the crunch.
Wasn't a fan of the crunch. No. But that's a different song. That's like the crunch.
This was originally a Page composed instrumental called The Overture. Plant added lyrics that refer to the group's experiences on tour, and it was given a working title of the campaign. His lead vocals were sped up slightly in the final mix, and Page played an electric 12-string guitar and 6-string electric.
At the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Page is really like one of the driving forces.
For sure.
Of the band. Keith Richards that's one thing you mentioned in the 1 minute video that I watched is like he was like at the end of it he's like basically Jimmy Page is that Led Zeppelin. I'm like, all right, that's Keith Richards' take. But yeah, he really shows his talent in this one. He's doing a lot of production in this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
John Paul Jones plays such a big role. Like he's so underrated in this group.
He does so much.
But in this album especially, I think. Like there's a lot of
I think any band that has John Bonham, you're just gonna be overshadowed.
Oh yeah, and then there's John Bonham, of course.
Like, look at this guy.
Yeah. I mean, they're all so talented. So I mean,
well, that's the thing.
That's why
like
it's so sad
all of them were equally as talented as the other, no matter how you look at it. You know, like you just.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, Keith Richards being a guitarist is like, no, it's about the Jimmy Page. But I mean, if you ask like whoever the drummer is for the Stones, he'd probably be like, no.
I mean, I feel like the Who was a very fair comparison between like all their like the drummer, the bass, the guitar.
So many.
They had like Page and
it was a musical
Keith
explosion.
Moon is that guy's name,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Charlie Watts was the drummer
That's
for
what I kept on
the
wanting to
Stones.
say.
Yeah.
Charlie Watts.
Stones. Charlie Watts.
So Charlie Watts probably would have been of a different opinion. But I think they're all really talented. And this album is, we should mention, this is their first album kind of using some of their own home studios as well as the Rolling Stones' mobile studio.
Well, you know, it's one of the few of them that aren't just named like Led Zeppelin number.
Well, yeah, this is the first one with a name, right? Like this is the first one with an actual...
Right?
Did they actually... Wait, did they have 1 and 2 on the other ones?
Yeah, it was Zeppelin.
1, 2, 3.
Just Zeppelin.
They had the
2, 3
numbers on them.
And then Untitled for 4.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this one, it was the first one that is got a real title.
Yeah.
Can we just come up with a name, right? It's like,
fine.
This song,
but the song's going on the next album.
This song was the title to the concert film.
Yeah, that's
the 1976
right.
concert film and accompanying soundtrack.
I was going to watch. It's on YouTube actually. If you want to watch it, it's available for free, I think. But
there's some wild shit in that.
It's 2 hours or something. But I was going to watch it today, but then it was like literally 2 hours from when you guys were getting here, so I was like, I want a little more breathing room. But yeah.
So originally. Yeah. Jimmy Page discussing the song's construction was originally going to be an instrumental and an overture that led into the Rain song. But Robert had different ideas. He said, this is pretty good. Better get some lyrics quick. And then I had all the beginning material together, and Robert suggested that we break down into halftime, in the middle, and after we figured out that we were going to break it down, the song came together in a day. I always had a cassette recorder around. That's how both The Song Remains the Same and Stairway came together from bits of taped ideas.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, so they were always like trying to like record their own stuff.
Like Prince.
Yeah.
Always recording. Always writing shit down.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone like actually gets into the recording part of it, but I guess back then it was probably like everyone was just like, oh, dude, we got to know about this.
Well, the Eagles did something similar with like Hotel California. Somebody would bring in like a little bit of a tape, and then a couple other guys would add on to it, and then you end up with.
I think John Lennon brought in
Yoko.
Yoko. But John Lennon also brought in, I believe, watching the Get Back documentary, that he brought in that Across the Universe already somewhat taped, because they were just playing it on a record player and Get Back. Yeah. So it was done, but I mean, it was definitely the age before, I guess, right before like home. There was more musicians with their own home studios. Like I feel like this is where that starts to happen a lot more. In the 70s and in the 80s, where there's more artists that just have their equipment in the studio.
Well, and I would just say home. Someone being able to do anything like on their own. And when we went in, we did the What was the jazz album we did a couple weeks ago?
Thelonious Monk. At the
Yeah.
Black House.
Okay. Like when you start to get into where you can start to record anything on your own, that changes things a lot.
Yeah.
You don't have to just like write something down musically. You can actually just, hum something into a recorder.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Rather than planning for later,
man.
You know?
You can always like at a certain point, if you're like like doing something long enough, you can always like even schedule that in. Even if you're just writing your own stuff. Like I'll do a little thing.
Well, that's what Prince would do at home. Every room in his house was set up to record. So wherever he was like in some random room, he like, I have this idea. He could like just lay something down.
Honestly, if I had the money, that would be my house.
Isn't that how most people would do it? Jeepers,
most of you have a cell phone, right? You have a recorder on your cell phone now.
Yeah,
so you do.
True.
I got a landline.
It's not the same.
Not the same.
I want a mic and a computer.
It's like you need
every
you
room
need
of my
something
house.
that you don't have to remind you that you're
you don't want to get up and walk over to the other studio.
You want to have an idea and then listen to it and be like, man,
if I'm humming a
that's
song in the kitchen,
you're like, I never would have thought.
Well, you're like think about it. You're laying on the couch. You're like, oh man, I'm in a real good mood. Like it's just the inspiration's hitting me. I need something to record this right now. If I get up, it's gone. That was Prince's life, dude.
Boom. Boom.
Anyway, I think that would be dope. But the song remains the same. Is also kind of, I think, a slight kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of thing coming off of the Led Zeppelin 4, which is full of like hits. Like each track is like a hit in its own right, I think. And this song remains the same. Is kind of being like, kind of go into their mythology stuff. They love their mythology, random like mythology and what's the word I'm looking for? Fantasy elements.
Yeah.
Paige loved was it Aleister Crowley?
Yes.
Didn't he actually buy his house? There's like some
probably people were obsessed with that guy. Yeah.
I mean, like Led Zeppelin was like obsessed with mythology in general. They
definitely.
loved Norse mythology.
Yeah.
That's why it was used in Thor Ragnarok. That song,
Immigrant Song.
Immigrant Song,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, and I was just gonna say like this song, calling it "This Song Remains the Same," I think is going to the idea that there are only so many songs, there are only so many stories to be told, and this album is going to be just another collection of them. Another collection of like timeless,
It's an old-fashioned love
stories.
Coming
This,
down in three-part
Plant's lyrics distilling wisdom acquired during the band's lengthy time on the road. That's where the final name came from.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's a quote. Every time I sing, the song remains the same. I just picture the fact that I've been around, and there's an ad. Thank you. Just the fact that I've been round and round the world. At the root of it, I'm quoting. So
Yes.
you don't have to agree.
You can continue. Is that the end of the quote?
No.
Okay.
And
continue.
at the root of all, there's a common denominator for everybody. He told NME in 1973. The common denominator is what makes it good or bad, whether it's a Led Zeppelin or an Alice Cooper.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I kind of get that.
Why did Alice Cooper on that? But what are you saying, John?
Well, because I kind of get that. Like, it's if it's a common denominator, it doesn't matter who's getting the message. It matters how they're getting.
Right.
everyone's gonna rock out somehow.
Some people are gonna listen to something and be like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter to me," and then they're gonna listen to something that touches them, and all of a sudden they're gonna get it.
And then they're gonna paint a cool mural on the side of the van.
One of those things.
Then we're gonna buy a jet.
It's one of the great things about like a free market. Like it spreads different meanings to different people. I get it. There's horrible things about it too.
Capitalism. But this next track is sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, dude, I get it. There's it's all good and it's all bad. Whatever.
Just an old-fashioned love song.
Exactly.
This next track, though, I was going to say we should get on to another one. This next one is called The Rain Song. And another one that, I mean, the first one's not slow or anything, but this one's, a little bit like,
they're ballad.
Kind of low-key, a little ballad.
George Harrison provided the inspiration for the Rain Song after complaining about the band's repertoire.
Yeah. He said that they didn't have enough ballads. And they were like, oh, yeah, okay, well, what about this? And so, The Rain Song.
Like the wind, their eyes fall.
Whoa.
Don't worry about that.
What's funny how you had Harrison like commenting on Zeppelin, and before that, I remember there was like Dylan commenting on the Beatles, like, like, oh, your music doesn't say much. Like, oh shit. And they kind of like went back and changed a bit.
Dylan doesn't think it says much. Back to the drawing board. No, George would definitely be.
So it's like it's funny, like that. Every is
he's paying it forward. Yeah.
It's like I like what you guys are doing these songs, but no ballads.
No ballads. Where are the ballads at?
They're like, fuck, George is right.
He's like, oh man, we could do one. We could do a couple ballads. We don't have to go all sticks with it, but we could do a couple ballads. But yeah, I like that. Like because. Especially after post Get Back or whatever, like you really get to see like George starting to come into his own at the end of that, and like to know that he was like such a team player with other musicians throughout the years, like even if he felt like on the outs sometimes with the Beatles, he was still someone from the Beatles, and like everyone that they he probably ran into throughout life was probably just stoked to get any kind of input from him, But yeah, I'm glad that he said that, because this is a great track. This is it's got that you heard at the end of the clip that Jimmy Page, like, he just, I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like that slow slide thing he does. It's just always.
Is it Jimmy Page or is it John Paul Jones?
It sounds like a guitar. I don't think it's a bass.
Well, John Paul Jones played a number of songs or a number of instruments.
Did he play guitar in? Oh, I didn't know he played guitar in the album too.
I don't know if he played. I'm just saying we should look at what the instrumentation is.
Definitely. Looks like piano, John Paul Jones, produced by Jimmy Page. Drums, it doesn't even
Mellotron.
Doesn't say guitar.
Mellotron, synthesizer, synthesized bass.
Is that a Mellotron?
I don't know.
A guitar?
I don't know.
It sounds like a guitar. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it's a guitar just going, but I could be wrong. But I don't know. I was thinking that it was like really, because he does it a couple times throughout the album. This is something that, like, you hear that kind of bendy, like, slow slide thing quite a bit in this album. And if it's a synthesizer, that's fucking amazing, because it's mimicking it too well. But yeah, the Rain Song is I like the lyrics for this one, because it's one of those seasons songs. Goes through the seasons, and he describes life as kind of a representation of the seasons and everything. It's pretty old kind of standard or idea. I've written a song in this format before, but yeah, it's a good way to kind of describe just the kind of they like big ideas. This Led Zeppelin band, they like big grandiose things, and yeah, talking about the seasons, grandiose as hell. What were you gonna say, Dave? Did I cut you off?
I was gonna say, I kind of agreeing with what you just said. It's very, it's personal, it's emotional. It's a song you can like put on, and you can like, almost feel like you can start putting yourself in that scene or that sense. You can start like, and kind of again like just you lose yourself and just kind of, kind of slowly like, I get it. Like it's just you can really like be part of that song.
Well, because it's called the Rain song, so like you're getting, and I actually I think I got this idea from a YouTuber I was watching earlier about this, but the Rain, just seeing the Rain song as the title gets you kind of set for the mood that is then presented for the song, because like I mean they do talk about rain a little bit, I guess, but I mean it does just in general have that
pretty good mood.
Rainy day kind of feeling. And I think the Mellotron is the
John Paul Jones is playing it to add
he's playing
the orchestral effect. Jimmy Page is playing a Dan Electro guitar.
Okay, so it's Jimmy Page doing the slide thing though?
Dan Electro guitar.
What is that, a different kind of guitar?
Apparently.
Is it just a guitar that's a brand that's Dan Electro?
It is a particular type of it's a brand, but it is a particular type of pickups, apparently.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he definitely has to have something crazy going on with his pickups, because, like, he kind of has the, what's the guitarist from the Queen?
No, not Cade.
But he used to use a quarter as a pick to get, like, the kind of
sound,
really vivid guitar sound for some of those solos. I've always wondered
Brian May?
Yeah, Brian May. Yeah, I've always wondered if Page was doing something similar, because his guitar always sounds so rich. I don't know, just being picked up. But I don't know enough about guitar pickups. I'm a bass guy. But yeah, this has a really interesting vibe, though. This song, compared to maybe the last, the whole discography up to this point, right? Like, this is kind of a little experimental.
Kind of a segue, like a quick, like, turn off.
Like, there's gonna be some weird stuff in this one. But speaking of weird stuff, we have another fantasy type of a track coming up. This is gonna be Over the Hills and Far Away.
Can I play with madness?
Oh shit! Where did that come from? I'm sorry, I got mixed up in with the tracks. My bad. This is Over the Hills and Far Away.
Hey lady, got the love I need. Maybe more than enough. Oh darling, 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 walk a while with me. Oh, you got so much, so much.
And remember one time Bruce Dickinson was in Led Zeppelin.
Dude, that's great. That was a great pick,
Crossover.
by the way.
Yeah.
For
Over the Hills and Far Away.
Yeah. That was a great pick of a track. You know,
Yeah, I don't know how that other one got in there. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah. This is I love Over the Hills and Far Away. Like, considering how kind of fantasy driven they are, it's like, oh yeah, of course they have a Over the Hills and Far Away track. But he was like, he must have been raised on a strict diet of fairy tales and Crowley, Robert Plant. He's just obsessed with this stuff.
There's a lot of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, and definitely Lord of the Rings. Yeah, loved him so Lord of the Rings. But this is one that comes on the radio quite a bit too, right? This is
probably the more well played.
More overplayed tracks on the album.
This was released as a single. Dancing Days was the B-side.
Oh, okay. And I think Dancing Days got better play in the U.S. if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
At least in the U.S. it was released as a single.
Yeah.
The song was written in 1970 at Braun That's also a Led Zeppelin song.
On your
small cottage in Wales where they stayed after completing a North American concert tour.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I just have this quote here from Rolling Stones magazine that says this song is 3 minutes of fleet booming chuggle.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah, lots of chuggle in here.
You know,
chuggle.
There's
CHOOGLE is how it was spelled. I've never heard of this word before, but I'm assuming this is like some.
I get the feeling.
There's not a lot of albums and tracks that have that sound, so you're not hearing it all the time.
Well, I get the feeling of that word.
You don't always hear chuggle in a
like
track,
when you get towards the end of this song, that's when you get that get a lot of feeling, get a lot of know. You know, like that's the you know that.
It almost feels a little like off. You ever feel like the song feels a little off?
Yeah, but they did it in the right way, so it like, works.
So
I mean, it's
odd. It's odd, I guess.
It's
yeah. The way he's singing
in a good
with
way.
Like the way the guitar is playing is like, I don't know. This is a weird one for me. I've always thought this was a weird track.
Cashbox said that the song is a bit deceiving.
Deceiving.
In that what opens as an acoustic song soon turns into an amazingly powerful Led Zeppelin classic.
Yes.
Complete with rock melody.
That's a great way to describe.
chuggle. That's really that's chuggle right there. Yeah.
You're just beating around the bush. That's what it is.
Well, there we go. There we go, fellas. Here.
But,
cheers.
I mean, that's
cheers,
where you're
I'll
going.
drink to
That's
that
where you're
one.
going far away.
Cheers, I'll drink to that one.
Cheers to the chuggle. But I just like verse 2 though in this one. It's got a nice I don't know, there's a message here. Many have I loved and many times have been bitten. Many times I've gazed along the open road. Many times I've lied, many times I've listened. Many times I've wondered how much there is to know.
I think that's Frodo, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute. I started thinking like, wait, Lord of the Rings. What is this? What is Pocket Full of Gold? Oh my God, it's the ring. Maybe many dreams come true and some have silver linings. I live for my dream and a pocket full of gold. Actually, oh my God. Speaking of the Hobbit, the pocket full of gold he describes here may be a reference to Bilbo Baggins. Says contributed Cytherea. Because at the end of The Hobbit, Bilbo is offered basically as much gold as he wants, but decides to only take 2 chests of gold and silver. That's what he can carry home. Blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, but, you know, he's a Tolkien fan, so fine. I'll buy it.
You'll allow it?
I'll allow it. And the line that's probably always got me as a young person is many times I've wondered how much there is to know, because it's just kind of a vague philosophical observation. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really deep necessarily, but you know, you should have that thought at some point.
The more you think about it, the more it becomes deeper.
Yeah. How much is there to know?
What don't I know?
Fuck, Robert Plant. What are you trying to tell us? But this next track we have for you guys, before we actually take a break, is going to be The Crunge. So here's The Crunge.
Here's The Crunge.
Oh, will you excuse me? I'm just trying to find the bridge. Has anybody seen the bridge? Please.
Have you seen the bridge?
I ain't seen the bridge.
Where's that confounded bridge?
Oh my God, no, dude. So I was listening to this at work with my coworker, right? Yeah. And this song like came. He was just like, "See, like this is bad Led Zeppelin," because it was kind of like this throughout the whole thing, and I was like trying to half defend it. I was like, "Well, it's funk, you know,
it's
like
pretty abrupt,
it was trying to be kind of funk, you know, a little bit."
Well, yeah, but there's not actual like there's not actual brass because it's just like it's synthesizer and stuff, so it sounds a little.
I know, and it just sounds.
Cheesy.
It sounds so awkward. Like
it is like. I feel like this song is like a joke / tribute.
It's English guys doing funk.
Yeah, it's like. I can only assume that they were just giggling to themselves in the studio while they were making this, because like it does sound weird, right?
Yes.
Like you agree, Jake? Like this is a weird sounding track, like, and then the bridge thing. I don't know, a strange one.
A lovely parody of James Brown.
Parody, yes, there we go. Parody
that's a beautiful way to describe it, Jake.
In a pre-Weird Al world, this great. Is a parody.
I kind of thought that a little bit myself,
But what about Crunge, though?
This one and Dire Mak'r, born from an impromptu studio jam, and kicked into a new direction by Bonham's distinctive drum patterns.
Okay.
Bonzo would dictate an unusual time signature when we'd be writing, or in a jam he would come up with something. Jones told musicians Matt Resikoff, or again he would start a riff that was strange, unusual, or just interesting. The Crunge was like that. In this case, the drummer chose a far from standard 9/8 time signature.
Damn.
It's got that extra half beat, which was a brilliant, brilliant thing, said Page.
Oh, yeah.
The syncopated pulse brought to mind a stiffly wound guitar lick that Page had been toying with since 1970. Bonzo started the groove on the Crunge. Then Jonesy started playing that descending bass line, and I just came in on the rhythm. Told Guitar World. He told Guitar World, I played a Strat on that one. I wanted to get that tight James Brown feel.
Okay.
Mission accomplished.
9/8, you said.
That'll give. I'll give him
that's
that.
why it's got that kind of like swing to it.
It feels tight. No, the whole thing is weird. It's weird because it sounds weird, but it feels tight. You know?
I think that's probably one of the like strengths of Led Zeppelin. I think that's probably why people talk about Bonham so much. Is they were really good at just seamlessly messing around with time signatures and not kind of appearing too proggy to someone with like normal like sensibilities.
No, that's true.
Because like a lot of this is like some of this could be considered like prog rock, like especially we'll get to it in the second half. But I mean, No Quarter is I think a prog kind of song. But these guys just they seem to just have fun. I guess you can hear them kind of having fun in the studio, which is great when that comes through.
It's beautiful when it does too.
I used to be mad at this song though because
screw you song.
Fuck you.
I think when I was I was starting to learn about the fact that fuck you James Brown tribute. But no, I used to think that I was learning about how Led Zeppelin stole a bunch of blues riffs in some of the earlier songs, and so when this like the last part I was like coming up and I was finally learning about some James Brown music, I was like, what? Led Zeppelin just fucking stole this fucking thing from James Brown. And like, now when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I mean, it's a fucking tribute joke thing. It's not really, this is like not.
There was no bridge.
Yeah. That's the whole point is it's bringing attention to that.
John Paul Jones maintains a strong affection for this one.
Yeah.
He said it's brilliant, very tight, really. When you think about it, it's when he thinks about it, it's one of his favorites.
Do you think that this one chugles?
No.
No, not quite. Not like track 3. Okay, we'll ask again later.
You only get one chugle per.
Only one chugle per
album.
Per album.
Yeah.
And they
some bands only get one song in like the entire discography.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But I mean, this is so far. I mean, there's no bad tracks. I think that's one of the strengths again of Led Zeppelin is. Not a lot of fat in their albums.
Man, I chugle this song.
They chugle every album that they do, and I don't know. They just
these are all their songs too, because all the previous albums had like old blues songs that they took and, kind of made their own and didn't necessarily give them the credit that they should have in some instances.
Yeah. It was a little bit of the fact that just copyright wasn't quite there yet, and a little bit of them being, ignorant of that fact. But nowadays, hopefully, that's getting better about, because their stuff was used for hip hop eventually. So I guess eventually it kind of came back around. But the crunge. Don't know what crunge is. I like how it sounds, but I don't know what crunge would be. Maybe that's
is it like crunchy?
Maybe that's similar to a chugel.
Is it similar to grunge?
No. That's obviously like that's what it sounds like, but perhaps this was one of the terms like chugel that is no longer in use.
Or Zeppelins.
Those hippies had a lot of fucking phrases. Like they really went overboard.
Yeah.
With their,
there's a lot of phrases and
brand
currently
themselves,
in Urban Dictionary, which you can trust.
Absolutely,
100%.
It is.
Ye can trust
a noun. The transformation twitch when going from sober to stoned. Can we use it in a sentence?
Wait,
dude, I hit that blunt once and it was instant crunge.
You know what? That's probably actually a variation of crunk, I would think. I think that's actually a what do they call it?
Regional?
I was thinking past tense, future tense, whatever. But
crunch and crunch.
It's a variation of crunk.
It's in
I think
the wheel
is what they're
spectrum.
Talking about.
Well, this has 110 likes versus 27 dislikes compared to the next two, which are not.
Urban Dictionary is still
so
holding
hot.
on to their dislikes. I see.
Yeah.
Nice. Good on you, Urban Dictionary. Well, if you feel like you have another idea of what the crunge is, let us know at our Discord. It's going to be in the link in the description, or you can go to Linktree/Flyover State Park. It's going to be there too.
And also,
what's that phone number, Brad?
Oh, you're talking about 1608 HIT NERD? Yeah, that's right. You can call the Album Concept Hour and leave your thoughts at 1608 HIT NERD. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now.
I was going to say, does anybody actually know what those numbers would be?
I think they still should show up in the numbers on your smartphone.
I don't remember those.
I think you can still see them. But that's also in the description, though. That number is in the description.
Yeah,
so
if you go to at least on my iPhone, you're good.
Yeah. See?
It's 448-6373.
You heard the man. Call that number, and you can we can listen to you, and you can tell us what you think of different things on the podcast.
And let us know your favorite Chugel song.
Let us know let us know what song you think really Chugles or is a fleeting, booming Chugel.
And we'll make a playlist. We'll make the Chugel playlist.
Yes. Oh, yes. A couple per band, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But we need the real Chugles in here. When we come back from the break, we got 4 tracks for you guys. And we're going to get on to the dancing days right after this little break.
The Album Concept Hour.
Oh. Did you put
Welcome
this
back
week
to
in there?
What is Dave Drinking? We are here. What do you ask, John?
Did you put it this week in there? I heard it. What is Dave drinking this week?
Did you? Huh. Weird. I don't think I did.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'll have to
maybe that was
to it.
my own head.
Oh, we have another one. Okay, cool.
Anyway.
Well, it's the dark.
All right. Oh, it's the dark beer. Oh shit. But yeah, this is the segment where we go around the table and we find out what everyone has been sipping on tonight. And I guess I'll start. I have so many in front of me. First off, Dave's been giving me, the last little bit of a couple of these. We got Nelson
plus Simcoe from Other Half.
Nelson plus Simcoe. Okay. Double hop Imperial India IPA, 8.5%. Holy shit. I really should read that first. And then we got this is from the other week. This is from the Thelonious Monk episode. Yeah, we have the Northwest Brewing Company's Brother Thelonious Belgian style Abbey Ale, which again I will say I think that they should change the artwork to some Martel Chapman original. So Northwest Coast, if you're listening,
North Coast,
if you're listening, he's totally down.
And hook him up.
Bottled Bebop. Then this is other one you gave me. You want to tell me about this other half?
Another other half. That's the cheddar broccoli.
Cheddar broccoli. Yes.
They're just known for just putting weird shit on their half their cans. There's like baked potato. There's broccoli, cheddar broccoli. There's baked potato, loaded baked potato.
Yeah. You want to try a little sip? You want to try a little sip of cheesy broccoli?
No, I do not.
It's just a beer. That's just the name for it. It's just like it's another.
It doesn't taste like cheesy broccoli.
It's just another IPA.
Yeah. That'd be weird. If it actually tasted like cheesy broccoli, I'd be upset.
I would be very upset.
Yeah. That's not what you want sipping on a beer. But it's a very
nice
good
hot summer day.
Yeah.
Oh, give me that cheddar broccoli.
Oh God. Okay. And then we have what else do I got here? This is what you just handed me. This is Untitled Art.
An Angry Chair.
An angry what? Angry Cherry?
I think Angry Chair. It's a collab.
Angry Chair. Okay.
The bourbon barrel age. I think it's the raspberry chocolate cake.
Oh my God, that is delicious. That's really, really good. Oh man, I'm having a moment here. That's amazing. There's also I have my Ale Asylum Hopalicious to follow that up with whenever I get done with that. And I thought I had one other beer here. No. This is it. What about you? We'll go John, then Dave, and then Jake. John.
Well, John, for our cheap drinkers out there, it started off with a little Steel Reserve. I had a Steel Reserve before I came here.
Yes.
Like on the way here. And then I've just been having a little vodka lemonade.
Mixing it up. Yeah,
that sponsored Dave vodka. Thank you very much, vodka? Sir.
Yes. This vodka is sponsored by Dave.
Sir, by the way. Thank you.
And what about you, Dave? What have you been sipping on tonight, besides the ones that we've mentioned?
Everything we've already shared. Also had the Shorts psychedelic cat grass.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were mentioning that earlier.
Triple dry hop pale ale.
Dry hopped. Jesus.
So yeah, it's grassy and danky, and it's pretty tasty.
Yeah. I've never had triple dry hop actually.
I'm tripping balls over here.
Yeah, it seems. A double dry hop already.
Tripping balls.
Yeah, it's hard stuff. It's yeah.
Get a nice definitely get like the hop aroma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably the cats thing.
It's definitely it's a lot of cat.
That's what they're insinuating, I think. What about you, Jake? What have you been sipping on tonight?
Agua no hielo.
So the water with ice?
Without ice.
Without ice.
Without ice.
Damn it.
Ice.
I almost got it.
Water. Neat.
Screw the ice.
No yellow.
No
Just
yellow.
watering it down.
Just water, dog. Sometimes you gotta drink some water. I got some water here too. I'm gonna make sure to drink all of this
Gatorade one.
And some iced tea.
You can hear us taking a sip of the water because we're responsible.
I did have Bernie Brew during the Super Bowl. That's what I was drinking.
Bernie
Brew. Super Bowl. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one of the
Minocqua Brewing Company. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Is that Wisconsin?
Yep.
Somewhere in Wisconsin.
Minocqua, Wisconsin. Yeah.
I've never been.
Man,
Minocqua. Haven't you heard of Minocqua? That place where everybody goes on vacation.
I feel like you've mentioned it before.
I have actually.
I feel like I've heard it from you. So
yeah,
we should go to Minocqua sometime.
The Biden, whatever there is, their brew.
There's Kamala
beers. Yeah.
Oh, they did the Kamala one. Okay.
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 different ones. They've been kind of pumping out more and more. There's a
Kamala.
Kamala is
it's like the Kama.
The stout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Comma and then L.A. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and then
fun.
the Bernie Brew is really good though.
Bernie Brew is
lovingly
pretty solid.
Irresistible. Lovingly irresistible Democratic Socialist Lager.
I like that it's Democratic Socialist Lager. That's fun. All right,
That's
nice.
awesome.
And it was very good. Yeah.
Nice.
This
Well,
beer's flavor will ring true for 40 years.
Well, if you want to tell us what you've been drinking for the Super Bowl, call us at 1608-HIT-NERD. This has been Wednesday Drinking.
We were so busy at the wings.
Oh, sorry.
A lot of wings.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I mean, the Superb Owl.
So many wings.
The Superb Owl.
Superb Owl.
Yes.
You're not supposed to call it by the other name unless you have like the rights to it. So.
Oh, really? I'm
don't need to get in trouble.
Sorry.
Superb Owl.
That's what we meant to say.
The big game.
The big game. I'm sure that there's a really fun legal case that is the origin of that. But anyway, we're getting on to another Led Zeppelin track, guys. Speaking of the Super Bowl, just a few days ago were the dancing days
You mean
for
a Superb Owl?
that thing that you just mentioned. That I don't know what I just said.
The big game.
I know that there was some
The
people
big
dancing
game.
in
The biggest game.
the ending zone, I guess is what they would call it. But I don't know who won. I did not watch it. Someone won though.
I was working towards
They were
it,
dancing.
man.
I set
We
up prop
sold
bets.
so much chicken.
I did.
I set up the prop bet. There's 68 categories.
I bet that someone would win.
Yeah.
So
The person who didn't watch the game won. So you would have had a good shot.
oh,
That's
man.
so funny.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah,
No, I just
yeah.
wondered who are the people that aren't watching it, because the
That's
ratings always
great.
show that not all people watch it, and I'm like, I didn't think I'd ever know anybody that didn't. So there you go, Brad.
I used to watch it every year with my family, but ever since I moved away on my own, it hasn't been as much of a tradition, and I forget about
I
it
usually
sometimes.
work it.
Kind of like Valentine's
kinda
Day.
why
I just kind of
never
forget about
watch
it.
You know?
But yeah, I do like me a good Superb Owl though. I gotta say, I mean, there's nothing like a good Superb Owl show.
It creates a lot of pride.
There's some, there's all, I heard this Superb Owl was actually very exciting. So it's too bad I missed it. But anyway, they were dancing in the ending zone. Here's Dancing Days.
You'll be my oldest, my one and only. Is that the way it should start? I know it
So you guys were talking about, I think the next song being covered, like who's covered this, and I don't know if you saw my comment that somebody did cover that as well as this one off on the Econominium.
Econopop.
ENCOMIUM.
Okay.
Econominium. Anyways,
Economum.
a tribute to Led
Economum.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
The album, and this song was performed by the Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh.
Okay.
So the album does not do very well, but selected tracks are pretty good in my opinion. So
For
Hootie and the
this-
Blowfish do a song, and then Stone Temple Pilots, and then the Dire Mak'r song. Sheryl Crow does that one.
Oh, okay. Sheryl Crow does that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering because you said Sheryl Crow covered it, and I saw the note way too late. I was wondering which song it was, but
There you go.
cool. So there's an album it's all covers. You're saying?
Yeah,
Okay, of the entire album.
yeah,
That's
and you
cool.
can probably find it for like $3 because it's not rated too well, and I think they produce a lot of them. I thought it
Well,
was
yeah,
going
I
to be a
mean,
big seller.
It's a cover album. Like it's I think sometimes those do really poorly, sometimes do well. It depends on how you.
That's
really
why they
approach
keep
it.
releasing them. It's a half and
But
half.
like I
theory.
mean, if you're like Marilyn
it
Manson,
makes as much money as
or
it doesn't.
Guns N' Roses, you can do that, I guess. But yeah, Dancing Days are here again. Another really weird kind of sounding guitars, going like.
Well, I
I
like
feel like
the
there's a
clip
weird
that
time
you
signature
got
here,
'cause
probably
it's-
too, but.
The clip that you got was probably like the best part of the song. You know? yeah. Like
When you hear that
little,
big, like, oh, I know what song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
exactly,
bending the guitar
exactly.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, love what he does with the guitar. And I guess this was something in the studio that they were kind of listening back to their stuff and like loving it and kind of dancing to it and like enjoying their time recording this album.
Yeah,
these are
you
the
gotta
dancing
fill an
days.
album.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things that's like you gotta fill an album, and sometimes you have like 100 songs, and sometimes you have like 10 songs, and you just gotta like pick the one you want. You know?
This one, it was
selective.
inspired by an Indian tune that Jimmy Page and Robert Plant heard while traveling in Bombay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Another, another Indian influenced group. Indian music was really influential to a lot of random, hippie groups that were able to get over there and learn about that stuff. But yeah, it's like not as like overt as like a George Harrison kind of tune, but with the context, if you know that that's where they kind of picked it up, you can kind of hear it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to do the similar kind of thing with guitar though, rather than bringing on the sitar to try to replicate that sound. I wonder, do you think George Harrison brought these guys to India? Like first, like you think he was like, "Yo, guys, you gotta check out India." Like
I would
feel like George Harrison was always trying to.
He's like,
yeah,
yo.
Well,
LZ.
like it's one of those things where it's like he's trying to expand his mind, and it would be easy to convince John to do it. And then John could totally convince Paul to do it. And then Ringo's just gonna come if they're all going.
Well, it seemed
like a real good chain reaction kind of thing.
It seemed mostly by Get Back, George Harrison was the only one that like was kind of giving a shit about it.
Yeah, but like still, they all did it. They all went,
Yeah.
It didn't seem like a hard like chain reaction to happen. All you gotta do is plant the idea with John.
John absolutely
and then
got something
John's
from it.
got the rest of the band.
Yeah. Watch Get Back, guys. It's really fun. This next track we got for you guys. We got track 6 coming up. This is Dear Mak'r, or however you want
Dire
to
Mak'r?
pronounce it. Dire Mak'r. Dear. I heard that someone said it was not actually pronounced that way, but I don't know how he was pronouncing it.
Dire Mak'r?
Dear Mak'r or something.
Dear
he was
Mak'r.
pronouncing it real weird. Here's
Dear Mak'r.
Dear Mak'r.
I still love you so. I can't let you go. I love you. Oh, baby, I love you. Oh. Every breath I take.
That's the real banger.
I was joking in the listen through that it sounds like someone's just going sk, 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 sk. But it's it's obviously an instrument, but like it really does kind of sound like someone just whispering that into the mic. Sk, sk. Anyway, Dear Mak'r.
Yeah.
That's how I pronounce it usually when I'm talking about it. Dear Mak'r. But yeah, this is another one that comes on the radio a lot. Really, really amazing, just straight up kind of love song.
And it really incorporates all elements of the band.
Mm-hmm.
Get like good elements from everybody.
It's one of the few songs that all 4 members share composer credit.
There we go.
Really? Okay.
There we go.
So this was like
it was
jam.
composed the hell out of.
Yeah. This was like something that like everyone just kind of got in a groove.
Everyone was just
did it.
vibing on. It's like
the chain.
The chain, exactly.
The chain.
Yep.
Never break the chain. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Jimmy Page, apparently there was some negative responses to this song, and Jimmy Page said, I didn't expect people not to get it. I thought it was pretty obvious. The song itself was a cross between reggae and a 50s number, Poor Little Fool, and Benny King's Things, stuff like that.
Huh.
Attaboy.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. It does. I
great.
forgot about the reggae. I never actually thought about it as a reggae part of the song because
totally.
But like it
I
really,
totally
it
get
definitely
that.
is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And the sleeve on the first album pressing gave tribute to Rosie and the Originals, a reference to the doo-wop influence in the song style.
Well, that's...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm sorry, I'm just coming to this conclusion.
No. When I was talking to Lance,
totally
when I was listening to it with Lance, he was telling me like this was their most like reggae influenced album, or one of their most.
That's why I bet Sublime was totally digging this track.
That's what you were saying. Yeah, this is the song that spawned Sublime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Well, no, I mean,
I'm just joking because it's like the most
that's probably
okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh no.
But I love that it's like a classic blues kind of like lyrics with this one, because I mean blues are their roots, you know. But
well, it's
like
kind of like
the reggae
set
stuff,
in that
but
kind
like,
of tone too, you know, like the everything's kind of slower, you know.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about like he's talking about like, oh, like all these tears I cry, baby don't go. I read the letter you wrote, it made me mad. Read the words you wrote, it made me sad.
Mad.
It's like very like almost surface level, breakup type stuff. Which is, a lot of blues stuff is, those kind of repetitious.
Summertime.
Summertime, what?
That's a great song, by the way. Listen to the Janis Joplin cover, Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right. Maybe I'll put a clip of that in here so you guys know what they're talking about, because I don't.
It's a George Gershwin song.
Yes,
the Gersh,
and it's great.
Yeah,
been covered by a million people.
I know, but my favorite is the Big Brother and the Holding.
Okay. Well, this next track we got for you guys is a big one. This is the one that I don't really know how to describe it, so I'm just gonna play it. This is No Quarter.
Wearing steel that's bright and true. They carry skills that must get through. That's just a path where no one
goes. That's the big one.
Were you guys listening to the bass on that one? Listen, I'm going to play it one more time. Listen to the bass on this motherfucker.
Yes.
Listen to this.
They're wearing steel that's bright and true. They carry skills that must get through. That's just a path where no one goes.
Sorry, I had to emphasize the bass there because, like, I am just blown away
synthesized bass, right?
It's great. It's great.
I think at the end there's some synthesized bass, but I'm talking about the in the background. That's like kind of going opposed to the the drum pattern and the guitar pattern.
All John Paul Jones.
Yeah, yes. This is the one that is composed by John Paul Jones. And this is, it took a while for them to put this one together. Like this one had a lot, much like the song remains the same. It took a while for them to kind of get the full thing going, but it's a really big, expansive song.
Very trippy. Yes.
Yeah.
Mine's like early Pink Floyd, like Uma Guma. Like this is
I was
weird,
gonna
like
say
wah,
that.
wah, and it's like the heavy guitar that kind of groans in there.
Totally, totally reminded me of Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
shit.
very proggy. I think it's
before Pink. Well, like about the same time.
Yeah, it's earlier
I guess,
Pink Floyd.
right?
Yeah, earlier Pink Floyd. Well, I guess.
Well, they definitely incorporated certain elements of this into their future stuff. But I mean, if you're listening to Pink Floyd, it's like it's always been there. I mean, they're doing similar stuff no matter what.
Well, with a lot of this classic rock stuff, I guess I've started to kind of look at it like a
it's all big mold,
like a Cold War of recording production techniques and ideas. Like they're all trying to one up each other, like every album, and it's just there's this really dense point between like 67 and like 73 where like everyone's innovating, it seems.
Dude, we've been listening to so many albums too. Like,
I know.
It's great. Like we literally know.
Well, yeah. Now, having done this podcast, I feel like I have a better understanding of that.
Our brains are stoked with it, you know?
Yeah. And this is a big step for Led Zeppelin, I think, this track in general, because it's just so, not blues inspired, first of all, necessarily. It's very, proggy and weird, and the production is crazy, the vocals are crazy, it just really conveys this kind of, someone on YouTube that was reacting to it said it kind of felt like an introvert kind of song, kind of expressing that kind of feeling of being introverted, and I think I agree with that. And just so you're aware, no quarter refers to the idea that when you when someone's going to war, their faction is not accepting prisoners. Like, they are going full in with this, like anyone that is captured is going to be killed. Yeah, take no prisoners essentially is what no quarter is supposed to mean. So this is kind of a Celtic war tune. Some people were describing it as, because it is. I mean, that's kind of the subject matter. Could be talking about Ragnarok. Because the Dogs of
War.
Dogs of
Dogs
of Doom.
Dogs of Doom.
Yeah.
Again, their music was used in Ragnarok.
Well,
they
obviously
love Norse mythology.
And that being said, I was going to say right here, I think that the next or last Thor movie should heavily feature this track, because this is the one where, I mean, it gets into the Norse mythology, and it's like dark and like brooding. Like, this is when the story is going, like, main characters are dying and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I want this to be like the climax of
right
Thor's
now. If they use it, Brad LeBaron.
Yes, Taika Waititi. Just all I want is you to be a guest on the podcast. That's all I ask.
Brad LeBaron called it right now.
But I mean, I think if Taika
Waititi
is smart, he's already included that in the next film.
If he's smart, he'd be listening to this podcast.
If he's Taika Waititi, why aren't you listening to this?
He is a smart.
This concept podcast.
He is a smart man.
Midwest.
Dude,
he's great.
Does
I love
this.
Taika Waititi.
He does this show with Native Americans.
Are you talking about Reservation Dogs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Reservation Dogs.
Yeah.
And no, I work with
because he's a native Australian. He's from he's Aboriginal.
And it I didn't like know like that at first, and I like was talking about that with like this guy I work with, and he was telling me, he's like, that's actually how it is. Like,
yeah.
He's like,
he's great.
It's actually very accurate. You know, I was like, oh, well, that's awesome. You know, like, that's great.
Taika Waititi, if you like concept albums, hit me up.
Hey, man.
Seriously,
dude, you're great. You're great. You're doing great work. Seriously.
Yeah. But there's a little Thor line here we'll just mention since we're talking about it. The snow falls hard, and don't you know, the winds of Thor are blowing cold. They're wearing steel, it's bright and true. They carry news that must get through. So, yeah. And I was gonna say the Dogs of Doom, in the mythology or whatever, the Dogs of Doom kill Odin, and that is what starts Ragnarok. So
yes,
that's what when it says the Dogs of Doom are.
Well, that's what starts Ragnarok in the film as well. You know, Odin's death.
Well, I guess there is that.
It's
that
the
one,
king's
there is
death.
A dog. There is a dog. That's actually. There's a dog that they fight at the end.
Yes.
It's not a focus.
It takes Hulk to take it out. Remember? Remember?
And, well, that's the thing, though. It's only one dog with like 3 heads, right? Like, it's like a Cerberus.
No, it doesn't have 3 heads.
It's just one head dog.
Massive feast wolf.
That's
thing.
right. It's the wolf. It's the wolf. Yeah.
And it takes the Hulk to take it out.
They really could have leaned on that more. I got to be honest. They could have leaned on that more in the movie. But this next track, though,
it was a great movie, though.
Brings us back to kind of more what you have come to expect listening to 4. So this is The Ocean.
You know, this song is very much like the ocean, uncompromising.
The ocean is very uncompromising.
Yes. Well, I'm talking about
so forgiving.
It's not very forgiving. I don't know.
Forgiving my ass.
I love it when someone just in a story just walks into
my
the ocean.
My sister literally moved
dies.
from fucking New Orleans because
the levee broke. Did the levee break?
Yeah, she's like, I'm not gonna raise my kids in like
by the ocean. By the way, this song, "The Ocean," is a reference to an ocean of like fans, like an ocean of like people watching them perform. And I personally think that this track is something that they added. Well, I don't think they added it like weirdly. I think that this is a track to kind of remind maybe some critics of the album that they could do Led Zeppelin 4 all day if they wanted. You know what I mean? But this album has a little more nuance, you know?
It's a little different from what they've been doing, you know? Just a little bit, though, you know?
I feel like this must have been a divisive album amongst the fans. I don't have proof of this, but it seems like it's enough of a like a turning point from the last album that like some people might like, you know, maybe be turned off by that.
It'd be fun to chat.
Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say it'd be fun to chat with someone that like was a fan from early on and like through like the discography, like when this happened, what did you think
when it came out? Yeah, because like I love it. Like this is the first one that I like latched on to.
Because you stated earlier like how at this point in time now we're looking back at the whole catalog as a whole, and it's like you're picking up the songs, it's great, but like when you watch like a band grow or if you're with like a band, like you have a like King Gizzard, like you're like oh, like they're performing, they're doing this, they're changing. You see that, but if you fast forward 20 years and you're like, you just kind of scoot through the catalog here and there, like, oh, this is different.
Yeah,
it's like a different like being in the.
What, Jake?
No, I'm good.
Okay, the critics apparently received mixed reviews. Much criticism from the music press being directed at the offbeat nature in tracks such as "The Crunge" and "Dire Mak'r." Gordon Fletcher from Rolling Stone called the album one of the dullest and most confusing albums I've heard this year, believing the band had digressed from the epitome of everything good about rock.
I mean,
to a watered-down heavy metal act. However, the album was a commercial success and topped the UK charts and spent 39 weeks on the Billboard 200 charts, including 2 weeks at number 1, their longest stint since Led Zeppelin 3. The album was number 4 on Billboard magazine's top albums of 1973, their year-end chart.
But it was just hot trash.
That guy was really, really hurt by this album, I think. He was like personally...
This album killed his parents.
Affronted. He was really,
well, I mean, like,
he's really upset.
It's a whole thing.
It is.
Know?
It's
like,
a very different.
It's in like the middle of their like popular career.
Well, because like,
they weren't trying to do anything for anybody, but they did something for everybody.
Well, and like the last album, they weren't really being experimental.
One of those
yet.
Things,
you know, they weren't like getting. You know, there's a lot of really kind of weird production choices in this one. You know, probably due to the fact that they're making their own, you know, production choices. But
and that's what's important.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, I think that it's a lot more experimental, and I think that's why it's probably, you know, some people were like, no, fuck this. But yeah, I think it works. I think that it stands the test of time, at least. But I can definitely understand people at the time maybe being a little put off. But
well, there's always going to be somebody, you
know. There were a lot of songs that were mixed and recorded at Olympic and Electric Lady Studios. They were left off the album. There were enough tracks to fill 2 sides of an LP, and that was released on Physical Graffiti, which was released in 1975. And that album also included The Rover and Black Country Woman.
Okay, and that which one had because Houses of the Holy is on a different album too, right? Like,
right.
I think that's on
on Physical Graffiti.
Is that on Physical Graffiti? Okay, I think you're right. But
maybe not. No. Yes,
No?
it is. Never mind. Sorry.
All right.
Yep. Just got to keep rolling with it until my eyes find it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the titular
Gotcha.
track actually is not actually on the
Titular.
album. So I'm sorry,
They
guys.
saved it for Physical
saved it
Graffiti,
for
which is a
Physical
really
Graffiti.
good album as well.
Now would be really funny is if they put a track called Physical Graffiti on Houses of the Holy as kind of a call forward.
Kind of an F you to the fans.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck did I buy?
It's like, what the hell, guys? You switched your title tracks. What is this? I would laugh.
Wait, there's a song called Led Zeppelin 2 on 1? What the fuck is this?
Right? Yeah. This one's just called 4.
Wait, Zoso?
I don't understand this, guys. I don't
Mega
understand
album.
what you're
They
doing.
sold it to us in separate to get us money.
Yeah, I'd like to think
anyways.
that that's what they were doing with their discography. Just having a laugh. Having a laugh like that Stephen Merritt with Magnetic Fields. Always having a laugh. But before we get out of here, I know
One more thing about this album.
Okay.
We didn't talk about the art on the album cover.
Ah, yes, the album
The
cover.
cover was rated number 6 on VH1's 50 Greatest Album Covers in 2003.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And it featured 2 children, Stefan and Samantha Gates. It was a frustrating affair over the course of 10 days. Shooting was done first thing in the morning and at sunset in order to capture the light at dawn and dusk, but the
Holy
desired
cheap.
effect was never achieved due to constant rain and clouds. The photos were taken in black and white and were multi-printed to create the effect of 11 individuals that can be seen on the album cover. The results were unsatisfactory, but some accidental tinting effects in post-production created a suitable cover.
Yeah. I mean, I think that weirdness of the lighting in the cover is probably what stands out the most.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the naked children.
Yeah, that's weird. It was
yeah,
at Giants.
That flew back then, but
Giants Causeway
these days.
in Northern Ireland is where that was. Giants Causeway in Northern Ireland.
Yeah. And apparently I was also reading that the brother in that scenario was not a fan of the cover or something, and then after he heard the album, he was like he felt better about it. But he didn't hear the album apparently for a long time in his life.
Brother of who?
The brother that appears on the cover. There was the brother and sister.
The two. Okay, sure.
Yeah, so apparently I don't know if he was like one of those anti-rock people,
or his parents are anti-rock.
I don't know why he would appear on this cover, but yeah. Like it seemed like he had a kind of conservative outlook on music and didn't actually accept his connection to this album until he fully heard it.
He has presented over 20 TV series, mostly for BBC, including Cooking in the Danger Zone.
The guy I'm talking about, the kid, brother?
Yes.
The kid brother?
He's 54 years old now.
Okay, so he had a long career after this. Okay. But that must be why that I found any quote about him at all. But
he's got his own Wikipedia page.
Okay,
and rightfully so.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Every time I see this album cover, I flash back to Bill and Ted. Excellent Adventure, where they're talking about at the very end, where their presentation for their book report.
Yeah.
And talking about going back to ancient Greece. Like, it was very triumphant. It had many levels. It was like House of the Holy by Led Zeppelin.
Hell yeah. I didn't know that was I haven't actually I don't know if I've actually watched those all the way through. I feel like I've seen a few scenes, but I don't think I've watched the full things. And
What's wrong with you?
I know. I mean, Brack mentioned it in his last episode, and I think that
it was most triumphant.
He mentioned that it was a more complete version of what Styx was trying to do, I believe. Yeah. I gotta check that out, and I gotta check out the third one as well.
I haven't seen the third one. I've been slacking.
That's the one with the daughters.
I think so. Yeah.
But
I feel ashamed to have to say that alone.
Before we get out of here, guys, we've had a lot of fun listening to Houses of the Holy. Finally getting to the Zeppelin, and we just got one more thing to do with you guys, and that's go around the horn and find out what everybody has been listening to, and if they got anything to plug, they can plug that. We'll go around the horn, like in What Is Dave Drinking? I have been listening to. I actually listened to a lot of other Led Zeppelin today. I listened to 3 and 4 as well in preparation for this. Still more impressed by this than 4. I know 4 is like a lot of people's favorite, but for me, this House of the Holy can't beat.
I mean, it's got a lot of quality, bro.
It's just. I think it's mostly for me. It's mostly No Quarter. I think that was a song that was one of the very early proggy, like experimental weird songs that I was exposed to. And I think it really, really captured my imagination when I first heard it. I mean, I know I've heard like a lot of crazy stuff since then, but at the time it was probably one of the most interesting things I'd heard at the time, because I was mostly just pop punk and emo kid at the moment. I wasn't into any classic rock. I was like, oh, that's what my parents listened to. I'm not about that. So that's what I've been listening to as far as plugs. I'm gonna say go to the. I will mention the Discord. I haven't mentioned it in a while, but the Discord's actually got a lot of like great conversations happening lately. I don't even have to like force conversation to happen anymore. Sometimes it just happens. You can share your music memes. You can share like music videos that you like. You can come in and give us your Desert Island top 5. So we're just having a lot of fun in the Discord. So check the link in the description. And join the conversation in there. You can also call 1-608-HIT-NERD. I've already forgot the numbers that you mentioned earlier, but 1-800 or 1-608-HIT-NERD, and you can leave a message for us.
Are you ready? 448.
448.
63.
63.
7.
3. You guys got that. Call that number, and you can leave a message for the podcast.
Call right now. We're waiting by the phone.
Yeah. Come on. We're right here by the phone.
You can text as well.
We want to talk to you.
Maybe we'll have we'll do a call-in episode once.
We should do a call-in episode. I would love to do a call-in episode. If you would love to participate in the call-in episode,
let us
call
know
in right now and let me know that you'd like to call in the future.
I'll call back. Cool. Or we'll call you back.
Hell yeah.
It'll be a call back episode. We'll call you.
We're going to just let everyone on the line, and it's just going to be a big conversation. What about you, John? What have you been listening to, and what do you have to plug this week?
All right. Well, so part of my doing dishes and making food for my girlfriend series, I've been listening to Abbey Road this week.
On vinyl?
On vinyl.
Nice,
on my record player, yes. And it is a wonderful album. I just want to say, from start to finish, even the like it really flows all together. Even when like you hit like the point where you have to turn it, and then you turn it, and then it just kind of rolls into something new, And it's
what's the first one on side B? Do you remember?
Oh,
I've never actually listened to it on vinyl, so. I don't know. I've never listened to any. Well, I have one Beatles record on vinyl, but it's.
I do not remember.
That's fine.
Specifically,
I was just curious if you knew off the top of your head.
But
good album, though. Great album.
It really flows very well, and
the final.
Here Comes the Sun is the first one off Abbey Road on the second side.
Oh yeah, that's a good start for another side. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's a good start for any side.
Anything else you've been listening to, or anything you have to plug?
Well, I'm always gonna plug us. Listen to the album concept episodes. Hour, please.
There's so many.
Otherwise, just listen to country music. Listen to everything.
Some country music. Some Outlaw Country. We always support Outlaw Country at the album concept.
Yeah, we do.
Get some Waylon in your life. Yeah.
How do you spell that, Brad?
WAYLON. Is that right? All right.
Yes,
all right.
Great.
I thought I did not know for certain when I said that. I think it looks better WEYLON on a piece of paper, but like that's not what it's spelled like, and I don't know why my
feels
brain...
like you're like going between like whey protein, like WHEY, and
whey
WAY.
WAY seems just too easy for me. You know what I mean? That's why I think I always did WEY. I was like, no, it's not whey. Like that's it's just like
Curtis
a regular
Wayfield.
word. Anyway, Waylon Jennings, listen to that. Dave, what are you listening to? What do you got to plug?
I had a lot of things kind of going through, but I will just do one band.
Okay.
They had a new album. It dropped today. It was an old punk band I listened to a lot. Was Ann Beretta. And their first album came out, I think it was 98.
Okay.
Pretty good. Bitter Tongues. Listen to it. They finally put all their stuff back on Spotify. It was a couple days before the new album dropped. So
did they hear about Neil Young taking him off, and they're like, "Let's put us some on." Actually,
like we need some more
music is going to be taken off.
We agree with Joe Rogan.
Yes, this band agrees with Joe Rogan. Let's just paint them with that brush. Anyway, what were you saying?
But went through their back catalog again, and in '99, one of probably my favorite albums that came out, and I probably listened to the most was their Ann Beretta's their Other Side of the Coin, which is their acoustic album.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically all their like just punk songs with just acoustic, and it's fan-fucking-tastic.
Songs.
It's amazing.
That's you don't hear that every day.
When I first moved out, basically we had a grill in our backyard. We'd sit in the stoop like Friday, Saturday night. We just cook out and just have that playing like on repeat the whole night out on the deck, and it was the best.
Yeah.
But the new album is pretty solid too. Check it out. But yeah, if you haven't listened to Ann Beretta, dude, do yourself a favor and get some Ann Beretta.
Also, just to add on to your plugs, I don't know if you've mentioned it on the podcast, but Hometown Sweethearts is a local band that is amazing. And if you are from the Madison area, if you ever see them on any sign, go check them out. They're a cover band might
be a show in October.
Okay.
Not quite sure. I can dig a little deeper, see if they want to have anything planned out.
There's some time.
There's
some time.
So
yeah. Look. If you're local, definitely check out Hometown Sweethearts. I know it's cover songs, but they are the best cover band.
They're on Spotify
in Madison.
They got 2 albums. They have an original album, and one of their cover albums is on there. So check it out. Fantastic.
Also, you can find a YouTube. They do weddings, so they have like a video online of like a variety of the covers they do. They're just a really, really great band, a local band that I just thought to shout out because I don't know if we've ever actually mentioned them on the podcast, but they are really, really great. Anyway, Jake, what about you? What have you been listening to?
If you make the decision to have a DJ for your wedding, you can hire me to do your wedding.
That's right. We have another DJ person here, or wedding person here.
That's right. So DJ Jake the Snake Foster Productions LLC.
Mm-hmm.
We're on The Knot. We're on Wedding Wire. We're on Zola.
Wedding Wire.
We're on Facebook.
Solid DJ.
I've never heard of any.
Pay a lot of money. We pay a lot of money to be on those sites to be able to advertise to prove how legit
these sites
we are.
there?
Because they are legit.
Not even the tip of the iceberg.
They do great work.
Oh my God, that's I'll have to learn more about it from you because I mean I've been thinking I need to dip my toe into that. But continue. Sorry.
So there's that, and then also we do like karaoke and trivia events and private parties and all that too.
Yeah.
Nice.
So always available.
Yeah.
The number for that.
That's right. You have a number. Yeah.
608-220-0866 is the business phone number for that.
Mm-hmm.
And email us at djjakefoster@gmail.com if you are ever interested or need a DJ for a party.
Yeah.
So, all that stuff. And also under the covers, I'm not going to say when it is because you can find that below.
That is below.
In the link tree, right?
The link right there.
And I will say what I'm playing though this week. Johnny Winter's birthday.
Nice.
The albino wonder Johnny Winter. My dad's like all-time favorite
I don't know
artist.
anything about him, but I'm intrigued now.
Were Johnny and Edgar, were they twins?
They were brothers.
What?
Johnny was older, yeah.
Okay. What are you telling me right now?
Dude, Edgar's fantastic too.
There's 2 Winters?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's Edgar and
Yeah.
Johnny.
Oh my god!
Totally.
Oh my god, guys!
Yeah, and they've
There
got
was
like a bunch
one
of
stunning-
albums.
Stunning revelation in the last
Edgar's older,
5
right?
minutes of the podcast.
No, Johnny's
Johnny's older. Ah,
Yeah.
my
Okay,
bad.
okay.
Yeah,
We could definitely do.
We need to do something with either of those.
No, they
guys.
have like multiple albums that they were.
I was gonna say we could
together
do
on.
like a
The Winter Brothers?
winter special. You know,
Yeah,
like
the winter
We'll have to
winter
wait a
green,
little
a
while.
double episode.
Oh, it's still winter
kinda
now. We
thing.
can
double
crank
mint.
one out fast.
the Doublemint twins.
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think we should go to the
Brace
to
yourself, the
winters.
Winter
Well,
Brothers
you
are
know,
coming.
It wouldn't even have to be like 2 full albums. We could do like
Yeah.
you know, like one of those kind of.
I just
episodes,
assumed
you
Edgar
know?
Winter was a one of one. You know,
No,
that's
no.
cool.
No,
I'm glad-
yeah. 1992, the one album's called "Hey, Where's Your Brother." So
that's
not
the one.
best one, but they've got another one from '76 called "Together."
Okay.
Anyways, they did a lot of stuff together. Them and Rick
Well,
Derringer.
one of those we will
That's great.
probably be covering at some point because that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great. I saw him in Belleville in
Oh, cool.
Nice.
2009.
Yeah.
The
Where
Belleville.
Did you see him in Belleville?
The Belleville American Music Festival, which lasted 2 years.
Oh, 2 years, but they got
Yeah.
them for one of them.
That was the last
Pretty
year.
good. That's a great year for them.
That's
Then,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
High note.
Well, it was just Johnny, and
Okay.
I've told
Yeah.
this story on the radio show numerous times, but we got to see him, and he like couldn't see. He was going
Oh, no.
blind. He was on all these drugs, and he
Oh,
kind
no.
of eventually got off of them. Like following this, he had this new
Okay,
manager that he
okay.
just
Ugh,
had gotten.
That's good.
And the manager got him off these drugs, and the next like
Yeah.
3 years he was like getting better and better, and then he ended up passing away at the age of 70. But
hmm
he made quite the turnaround. So,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I'd love to do some Johnny Winter. That'd be great.
That would be very
That's
cool.
pre-
That'd be very
that's
cool.
great.
So, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's his birthday.
Yeah, so
and then
you're
George
celebrating.
Harrison's birthday, and Fats Domino.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking his death day is my birthday, so I get confused.
Yeah.
Go
Johnny
on.
Cash on the show, the Canned Heat, for Bob the Bear
Yeah,
Heights
Canned Heat.
Nice.
birthday, I think. Don Helms was a steel guitar player with
Mhm.
Hank Williams. We're gonna play some Hank Williams. The
Okay.
Stones for Brian Jones' birthday or death. I don't remember. which
Birthday,
one.
death day.
Joe South is an artist. We're gonna play.
Go south.
Glenn Miller, Harry Belafonte,
Yep. Classics.
and Willie Mitchell, as well as The Who for Roger Daughtry's birthday.
That's
So that's
Nice.
that's this week.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah,
That's a
definitely
hell
got
of
to tune
a
into
week.
that. And we got another album coming up next week. I'm not sure what it is yet, but we got something coming up for you guys in a week. Another concept album. And thank you guys for listening to Led Zeppelin, The Houses of the Holy. It's been really nice finally adding this to our list of albums. And if you think that there's any album that you want us to cover, why don't you go ahead and call 1-608-HIT-NERD. And you can let us know what concept albums you think that we should add to our list. But until next time, everyone, we will see you later. The Album Concept Hour is Brad LeBaron, Dave Gallagher, John Aker, and Jake the Snake Foster. Special thanks to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the theme music. Join the discussion on our Discord, tweet to us at Album Concept Pod, or for everything else, go to Linktree/Flyover State Park. See you on Side B. This is Flyover State Park. You are clear to land.